CFSJs inside the box. The workout's designed for tight times and tight spaces. All of our workouts are designed for a space approximately 8 foot by 10 foot. We should be able to get through all of these in about 25 to 45 minutes, depending on how you pause the videos and how much time you spend at each station. Follow along with us, pay attention. We're going to give you some insight as to how these workouts are actually supposed to be completed. So if you follow along with us, you will get better. All right, so if you have access to a rower or a bike, go ahead and use those. We're looking for about 2 minutes of warm-up, but for the rest of us, we're going to do 10 in-place burpees, just simply stepping back, starting light. Use this as a hip stretch as well. Let's go ahead and get jump at the top, slowly starting to build the heart rate up, just getting the blood flowing so that the muscles accommodate. And you're going to go ahead and give me 6 more on your own. Now that we have that cardio out of the way, let's go ahead and warm up with some dynamic moves that are going to get us prepped for our lift and our WOD later on. Starting with the Cossack stretch. Don't worry about how deep you go. Keep your feet pointed forward. Go ahead and drive that hip over the heel, 5 each side. Next, working into an active glute stretch. If balance is a problem, this can be done from your back. Don't worry about how deep your squat goes. Just look for a nice stretch with the glute and the hamstring. Let's go down into a plank pose for Spider-Man with a hip twist. And lastly, let's finish off with 10 pigeon pose. Now that the dynamic warm-up is out of the way, let's go ahead and activate that core. We're going to start off with 10 glute bridges. Notice Devin bringing the hips up, creating a straight line between the knees, the hips, and the shoulders. 10 reps. Next, we're going to lift shoulders off the ground from that similar position with the thoracic bridge. The idea is to create a straight line again between your knees, your hips, and your shoulders, keeping those fingertips pointed back. And last, 10 bear roll to bridge. Starting from that tabletop position, elevating the knees about an inch off the ground, taking that outside foot and rotating over the body, lifting the hips up. 5 each side. Now remember, even a crappy bear roll to bridge is still a good activation, so don't be caught up that yours may not look like Devin's. Now we've got 2 rounds of this, 10 reps each. Let's go ahead and set a timer and get going, and I'll see you back at strength. Today's strength is an upper body development. Whether you use a kettlebell or a dumbbell, a heavy implement or a light implement, any way you do this, this can be challenging. We're going to work on half Turkish get-ups. Usually the part that starts to fall apart is the shoulder positioning. We're going to superset these with single arm dumbbell or kettlebell floor press. Let's go ahead and take a look at Devin doing the single arm floor press. Notice with Devin's movement that his hips, back, and shoulders are glued to the ground. Just trying not to lead with that shoulder, keeping the shoulders back into position, maintaining core activation. Let's take a look at that half Turkish get-up. Making sure that the shoulder blade is set as that weight is supported overhead. Pro tip, keep your eye on the bell. It's not going to tell you that it's falling. All right, we are taking that left heel to drive into the right elbow. Chest stays proud, core stays locked, coming into a sit-up. Further challenge by lifting up into a hip bridge. Take your time on these, there's only 3 to 5. All right, now that we have our movements set, let's get our stuff in order. Now let's superset these exercises. We're gonna start off with 10 floor press on the right, followed directly by 5 half get-ups on the right, and then we're gonna do the exact same thing on the left. We're gonna get all of these reps done within 3 minutes. This will be more than enough time, so please take your time with this. All right, let's go ahead and set a timer for 3 minutes. We're gonna do 5 rounds of this, beginning now. Let's talk about the Metcon for today. Today's workout holding pattern is a 14-minute AMRAP all out. If you have the equipment, it's a 15 or a 12-calorie row. If you don't, it's a 200-meter run. Now, if you have no space and no rower, we're looking for about a minute of cardio, a minute of jumping jacks or a minute of burpees. Probably not burpees because this is going to be followed directly by 12 lateral burpees. So any implement will do, your water bottle, just something that forces you to clear the ground as you're jumping left to right in these burpees. Quick reminder, you do not have to reach full extension while jumping over your object. And last, 10 V-ups. So let's take a look at these 2 movements. Here's Devin demonstrating a lateral burpee over a barbell, but you can imagine any implement whatsoever. Notice that he doesn't need to reach full extension at the end of each rep. Moving on to the V-ups. In his V-ups, notice that he starts in a slight hollow. He's probably going to demonstrate a little more control than we're going to have after those 12 lateral burpees. Try not to flop on these. This is realistically the part that's going to slow us down the most. The intention on a 14-minute workout like today is to go all out but maintain control under the skill movement. So when we get to those V-ups, spending a little more time. Don't treat these as throwaway movements. All right, let's grab whatever implement we need to burpee over. If you have your rower, let's go ahead and get it set. Let's grab that playlist in the water. And now that we're ready, let's go ahead and get going. 14-minute AMRAP on your clocks. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go.